Welcome friends to this course on understanding absurdist drama. We are in week 3 and this is going to be lecture number 3. Today we'll discuss Samuel Beckett's short play Crabbe's Last Tape. Crabbe's Last Tape was written and performed in the year 1958. It's a powerful exploration of memory, aging, and regret, focusing on the passage of time and the impact of past on our present life. Ruby Cohen, one of the most famous Beckettian scholars, argues that the play is about a birthday and a death day of the protagonist, echoing Pozo's famous remark that one day we were born and one day we shall die, the same day. The play centers around an aging man named Crabbe who annually records an audio diary on his birthday. On the stage, he listens to tapes he recorded in his earlier years, reliving his memories and examining his past with a mixture of nostalgia and disdain. The play begins with Crabbe listening to an old tape which he has recorded 30 years before. On the day of the performance, Crabbe is 69 years old. 30 years before, when he was 39, he had recorded one tape, and that tape Crabbe is listening to today. Crabbe has been recording one tape every year on his birthday for the last 45 years. That means he started this habit of recording tapes when he was 24. His tapes are not mere his soliloquies, but a carefully crafted performance. In the present tape that Crabbe is listening to, he is reminiscing about his addiction to alcohol, to bananas, and of course, the moment of farewell to love when he decided to separate from his girlfriend to become a writer. He also reminiscences about his mother, and there are several other moments which find out a mention in the recorded memories of Crabbe. At the moment, Crabbe is an old man. He is 69, perhaps waiting for his death. As the title of the play suggests, Crabbe's last tape. Last here may mean the last tape that Crabbe is recording before his death, or it may also refer to the most recent tape that Crabbe is about to record. In fact, the play is about 69-year-old Crabbe reminiscing about 39-year-old Crabbe. So you can see that there is a rupture between two selves of Crabbe. Crabbe, the older self, and of course, Crabbe, the younger self. And there is this dialogue between the older Crabbe and the younger Crabbe. 69-year-old Crabbe has grey hairs, a cracked voice, dirty boots. Although he is unspectacled, yet he is nearsighted. He is hard of hearing, with white face, and of course, he appears to be disorderly and unorganized. His act of listening to his old memories that he has been recording since the age of 24 reflect a deeper conflict between the older crab and the younger crab. It embodies a deep conflict between nostalgia for his youthful ambitions and disillusionment with his past. His tapes reveal a once vibrant, self-assured man now replaced by a detached version of himself, struggling to reconcile past ideals with the emptiness of the present. In fact, Ruby Cohen argues that at each stage, Crab sees the fool he was, not the fool he is. Now, this remark by Ruby Cohen suggests the nature of human life, where human beings, while they are living, they are unaware of the stupidities that they are performing. Once they grow older, once they mature, they become conscious how foolish and how stupid they have been when they were young. His name resembles to the word crap, C-R-A-P, which may indicate excrement, trash, and also nonsense. His very name implies the idea of decay. All the recorded tapes of Crab are birthday messages for himself. All the tapes that he has recorded for future listening, so that he could reminiscence about his past, so that he could reflect on his past, so that he could understand whether he had a meaningful life or not. Each playback reveals a younger, more hopeful Crab generating dialogue between past and present. Kennedy argues that these tapes are subtle transformations of an interior monologue into the semblance of a dialogue. One has to understand here that these recorded memories are nothing but confessions of Crab. He is reflecting upon the year, things that he has done, people he has been with. He is reviewing his life, whether throughout the year he has been leading a meaningful life or not. So his tapes are basically his review of his life. And because these tapes are confessions of his recorded memories, they can be considered interior monologue, a term used more often in fiction than in a drama, where the inner mind of the character is revealed before the reader. In the play, Crab reveals his inner mind for the spectator, and that he does in the form of a dialogue. That's why Kennedy has argued that his tapes are subtle transformations of an interior monologue into the semblance of dialogue. The question that lies before us when we read the play is, why is Crab recording these tapes? What is his goal? What is his purpose? One obvious purpose that comes to our mind is recollection. Crab wants to record not only his memories but also the passing of time. When older Crab listens to the tapes that he has already recorded, not only he remembers his past life, but also the time which he has lived. Although his recording is an attempt to divide time into a mechanical manner, of dividing time into past, present and future. But it also suggests that time is indivisible, as one of the great 20th century poets, T.S. Eliot, has suggested. Time present and time past are both perhaps present in time future, and time future contained in time past. If all time is eternally present, all time is unredeemable. T.S. Eliot is asking whether time can be divided into seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years. And even if we divide time into quantitative categories, whether that division of time is fruitful or not. If we divide time into past, present and future, whether it holds any meaning, whether it holds any significance or not. Perhaps T.S. Eliot is indicating that it holds no significance. Why? Because time past and time future are contained in time present. So present is the only reality. St. Augustine, an ancient philosopher, has also talked about the idea of time. He divides time into three categories, but his division of time is not into present, past and future. It is a philosophical division of time. For him, yesterday, today and tomorrow are ever present, are always present. Past is present as memory. Augustine calls it the present of things past. Present is always present as present, that we directly experience. So present is present as present through direct experience. And of course, future is present in the form of expectation. Augustine calls it the present of things future. So the idea Augustine is proposing is simple. All time converges in the present. Present is the only reality. And therefore, if a human being is living in his mind either in past or in future, that is bound to lead to the notion of futility. Similarly, Krapp has recorded his tapes. He has tape of the year 24, he has the tape of the year 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, so on and so forth. He is listening to the tape for the year 39. He is now 69-year-old. Of course, he has memories of all those years recorded. Will he be able to recover time? Will he be able to reproduce past time? Can he be able to stop future time? Krapp has to understand that present is the only reality, which perhaps he fails to understand, like all human beings who fail to understand that only reality is the reality of the present. So if the only reality is the reality of the present, what is the purpose of recording those tapes? What is the purpose of storing all the memories that we have in our mind? We suffer because of our memories. If we become oblivious to our memories, if we forget our memories, if we live only in the present, there is a possibility that we can be happier. Augustine has said that the same memory contains also the affectations of my mind, not in the manner in which the mind itself contains them when it suffers them, but a very different according to a powerful peculiar to memory. For without being joyous, I remember myself to have had joy, and without being sad, I call to mind my past sadness, and that of which I was once afraid, I remember without fear, and without desire recall a former desire. Again, on the contrary, I at times remember when joyous my past sadness, when sad my joy. which is not to be wondered at as regarded the body, for mind is one thing, the body other. Now this quote asks us to reflect upon the nature of memory. What is memory? Memory is a mental process that permits us to recall, to store and to retain informations of the past. It may help us retain and remember the most important events of our life, our experiences, our desires, our wants. Memory can be sensory, which can be based upon sense experience. Memory can be short-term memory. It can be long-term memory. And of course, it involves three basic processes, which is similar to language. Encoding, where the information is encoded and stored. So first process is encoding. Then second process is storage. In some part of our brain, those informations are stored. And in the third process, the stored information is retrieved from the mind. Now you see, Krapp's tapes are recorded memories. There are two kinds of memories that Krapp has at the moment. One, memories that he has recorded in the tapes, and the other memory which he might be experiencing after listening to those tapes. In fact, it can be seen as an exchange between voluntary memory, the recordings, and the involuntary memory, that is Krapp's recollections. Proust, who had deeply influenced Samuel Beckett in his very famous work In Search of Lost Time, talks about two kinds of memories: voluntary memory and involuntary memory. Voluntary memory is often forced. It is a deliberate recall through effort. And involuntary memory is often spontaneous. Suppose you see a banana and that banana reminds you of your first banana that you had in your life, and also reminds you of the person who gave you that first banana. That would be an example of involuntary memory. So Krapp's memories are both voluntary and involuntary, and there is a dialogue or exchange between voluntary memory of Krapp and involuntary memory of Krapp. When the play starts, Krapp is 69, as I have repeatedly told you, and he is listening to the tape when he was 39. 39 today sound as a bell apart from my old weakness, and intellectually I have now every reason to suspect at the crest of the wave or thereabouts celebrated the awful occasion, as in recent years quietly at the wine house not a soul sat before the fire with closed eyes, separating the grain from the husks. The grain, now what, I wonder, do I mean by that? I suppose I mean those things worth having when all the dust has, when all my dust has settled, I close my eyes and try and imagine them. Time is passing, time is fleeting. Krapp is conscious that he is mortal, that he would die. Somehow he wants to preserve his life. And tape becomes a mechanical device for the preservation of his life. It is not only a device for preservation of his life, it is also a container where his memories can be stored and he can recall them, remember them as and when he likes. Although this task of recording memories is not holistic. because once crab is recording those memories, he has to select which memories he has to record and which memories he has to eliminate. So there is a process of selection and elimination. There is also a process where crab has to isolate grain from husks, because life is what? Life is a bushel of husks. There are only few moments which are important, which are significant. Those moments can be pleasant, those moments can be painful, but only few moments are significant, and only those few moments are to be remembered. Therefore, crab says he has to isolate the grain, the important memories from the husk, that is life. Crab cannot store everything. For crab, remembering is like ruminating. You must have seen animals ruminating. Rumination is the process where animals rechew cud to break down plant matter further and to stimulate digestion. Rumination is symbolic. Like animals, after having food, they sit and part of the food is sent back to their mouth and they ruminate the cud. You must have seen the mouth of animals ruminating. This is how human beings live. First, we live. Then, we reflect upon those moments which we have lived, like animals ruminate after they have eaten their food. Now, what is the significance of this rumination? Whether it holds any purpose, whether it holds any significance, or it is useless and worthless. Like it is in Augustine and Proust, memory is the stomach of the mind. It is the container where our desires, our wants, our feelings, our thoughts, our experiences, the important ones, are stored. And rest of the non-important information is eliminated. So memory may be machine-like, and that's why Beckett has chosen the tape recorder as a tool to exemplify machine-like nature of memory. But Beckett is also suggesting that there is more to memory. Memory is recollection, spontaneous recollection, for which no artificial enforcement is required. When crab is listening to his old tapes, when he is reminded of his younger self, he becomes very unhappy with his former self. He says, "Just been listening to that stupid bastard I took myself for 30 years ago. Hard to believe I was ever as bad as that. Thank God that is all done away with." Crab calls his former self bastard. In fact, Crab is calling himself a bastard. Why? Because Crab is unhappy with the stupidities that he has performed. But Crab is also suggesting that Crab that he was 30 years ago is not the same Crab which he is now 30 years later. Human beings evolve, human beings change. Individual is not one person, but a succession of individuals. Individual is not one whole self, but is constituted by the multiplicity of the selves. So there are so many selves that we have, and if we try to find out the older self that we had, can we? We cannot, because the older self that we had is already gone, is already over, is already past. That self is already dead. Heraclitus's river metaphor can help us to understand this fact. Heraclitus has said, you cannot step into the same river twice. By this he means that just as rivers' waters are always flowing and changing, so is everything in life. Nothing remains static, everything is in flux. So if in the world everything is in flux, time is in flux, life is in flux, so is the case with individual. A self is also in flux, always changing, always evolving, and therefore if you try to reflect upon your past and if you try to recover your past self, you cannot recover it because that self is already changed. That self is already over. And therefore, Crab is indicating that a human being's desire for recovery of his past, for the recovery of his old self is futile, is worthless. Only chance for a human being to be happy is to be in the moment. As Crab rightly says in the play, here I end this reel, box 3 spool 5, perhaps my best years are gone when there was a chance of happiness, but I would not want them back, not with that fire in me now, no, I would not want them back. So there was a chance for happiness. When was it? When Crab was living. Crab could have been happy every moment he was living. Now, Crab would not want those moments of past to return. There is no point in regretting that we could have lived other ways. There was only one way which we could live, and that was the way we had lived. Crab does not want his former self to return, and that's why he says, I would not want them back. The play is marked by rhythmic, poetic, but fractured language. Beckett has intermingled pathos and humor like he has done in his other plays. Of course, it is also marked by several absurdity motifs. But the most important feature of the play remains that Beckett has used interior monologue in the semblance of a dialogue. Beckett's portrayal of time does not offer an escape from the present through the depth of memory. Memory cannot make us happy. Memory cannot take us back in time where we can change our past and live happily. Beckett is suggesting happiness can be experienced only in the moment. In fact, memory serves as a stark reminder of the present moment, disconnected from the continuity of past experience. Beckett has also suggested that recovery of the self, like the recovery of time, is also an impossibility. Time past is already past. Self, already grown old, is already gone. Therefore, human effort to remember the past or human desire to search lost time is futile. Crab's last step is a reminder for human beings that there is no point in recording and remembering our past. Past cannot be recorded, past cannot be remembered. Crab's last step is a profound meditation on aging and the human tendency to revisit, revise, and sometimes reject our own memories. Thank you, friends. We'll meet in the next class.